So, just want to give a quick little intro in regards to what this podcast is going to be. It's going to be, we're a group of friends. We all know each other. We grew up together. Some of us played in the same team. Some of us still play in the same team on Sunday leagues. And the idea behind this is just to have a regular conversation and just do what we do whenever we hang out, which is talk about sports. Um, it's going to be raw. We're not going to have any crazy edits or anything. So we're just going to put out the raw video. I mean audio output. Um, and yeah, we're not professionals, so we're going to get some things wrong, but we're going to try to be consistent in terms of giving the best up to date statistics and facts that begin to come out. So if anyone else has something to kind of say in regards to the intro, say it now, and that way we can jump into it.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to piggyback off of that and say that the main purpose of the channel is, as Josh mentioned, is for us to be able to have organic conversations, just like as we would when we go out in general, right? And be able to provide our thoughts on topics relating to sports and our analysis. It's something we do all the time, so why not be able to share with other people who would be able to provide some feedback and also engage?
Carlos, you have anything to say?
No, sir.
All right. Well, let's start over to you, Danny.
Yeah, so again, piggyback off of Lego. Hopefully you guys get a laugh of it because, we have different sports team that we love and we love making fun of each other when we get, you know, a wrong result from our favorite team and, we just love to make fun of each other. So hopefully you guys, get a little entertainment off of it, get a laugh, and obviously again, your input. And yes, on this channel, if you are a Madrid fan, I despise you, especially Vinicius. Also, if you're a Man United fan, I don't like Man U. So going into our topic, we have Champions League recap from this past week. Obviously, the big games: Barcelona versus Napoli, Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid. We got Porto versus Arsenal, and also Borussia Dortmund versus PSV. So going into the first game, Barcelona versus Napoli, which was on Wednesday, tied 1-1. Um, Overall, I thought Barca was a better team. They dominated in possession, you know, in shots, and they just were pressuring as a team, and they looked the Barcelona that, we used to see back in their prime days. But their final third was just, it wasn't good enough. They lacked in creativity, and I think that's where Barca needs to improve. But for me, I think it was one of their best games overall. Lewandowski was checking in. Yamin Yamal, who's 16 years old, who made history that day as the youngest player ever in Champions League playoffs. You know, so he was. They were a good team, but they still got a goal, and I think they'll in the leg that they play against Barca. I think they will win, but we'll see. Napoli is, they got a new coach, and by then they'll probably have it figured out, and they are a dangerous team because Barca is a weak team right now.
You know, the some of the notes that I was taking and just watching that game, you did say that Barcelona had a lot of shots that they were taking, and yeah, I definitely have it down here. They took 12 shots compared to Napoli, who had six. In regards to them being on target, Barcelona had six shots on target compared to Napoli's one, and I think that one was the goal that Osimhen ended up scoring. Possession, it was pretty close. Barcelona had 51% possession, and Napoli had 49%. What I did notice was that correct me, in terms of how I say this guy's name, your young star. I'm gonna just go by the last name, Yamal. He was definitely a key player in Barcelona's attack. I also saw Gundogan uh, become like a more aggressive playmaker. I don't know if he was like that when he was back in Man City, but if I'm not wrong, Gundogan was playing right center mid, right? So I saw him playing super aggressive in terms of hitting some long shots, and they had some power behind it. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but uh, I mean, he's doing his thing, and I didn't. I mean, he's what 33 years old, and he's doing that type of playmaking. Um, just shows that that he still has it. Kind of reminds me of my team, Modric and Cruz, how they play, right? Uh, I did like to see that how Gundogan was doing his thing even at that age. Uh, Pedri, another young player, he managed to get an assist and has that link up with Lewandowski. I mean, I think Barcelona has that potential, but when it comes to, again, I'm going to compare it to Madrid because I'm a Madrid fan, and obviously uh, Danny here is a Barca fan. But in regards to Barcelona's future, I don't know if they're going to be a top team I don't know if they're going to be on the same level when it comes to Madrid, and that comparison. But in regards to this game, I did see some improvement. I definitely thought they should have won. Hopefully, we'll see that in the second leg. But one big thing that I did see here was that Gundogan is a pretty dope playmaker, and just that game showed a lot what he can do. What did you guys
Most
think?
definitely. Just to add to that, I would agree with you as saying that I think Yamal is the future of Barcelona. He's 16 years old. He's broke numerous records, and he's a playmaker. And they have a combination of him with Lewandowski um, in the attacking part of the game that it's really unparalleled in the way in which you have such a young rising star, but also a veteran who they can just work uh, off each other. In regards to the game itself, I think Barcelona should have won. I mean, Barcelona actually, Danny, I know you mentioned that they've been struggling. Believe it or not, they haven't lost a game since January 27th. It's been almost a month. So they're 4-0-2 in the last 6 games. And that's good enough for second in La Liga. Napoli's ninth in Serie A. I thought Barcelona should have won the game. I thought they dominated the game. As Josh had mentioned, shots on goal, shots overall. But it's Champions League, and these games are close, and neither team's going to back down. And it's the highest quality of soccer there is. So I think that's why Napoli was able to escape with a tie here. But I do see Barcelona taking it when they play at their house in the next game.
Well, quick thought before we move on to the next game. You're right. Ever since Xavi's resignation from Barcelona, they've been, playing well. Like you said, they're 4-2, I believe.
Yeah,
Or
so they are in the last 6 matches, they have not lost. They've won 4 and they've tied 2. Whereas Napoli, I didn't include this earlier, but Napoli has not won a game since January 22nd. So it's been over a month since they've even been able to win a game. They are they've had 1 win, 2 losses, and 3 draws in their last 6 games. Napoli has. They haven't won a single game since January 22nd.
right. So that's good from Barcelona, obviously, and whatnot. But obviously, they do concede a lot of goals, and knowing that they have one of the best young um, center back in Araujo, such a great player, defensively hard, you know. So that's where when I was talking about Barca's struggles, I think defensively they struggle a lot. But, they have Gundogan, how Josh mentioned, one of the best playmakers. I think that's their best player right now. If I'm being honest, Gundogan is Barca's best player.
I
So,
just saw yeah, dude. When I was watching the game, how involved Gundogan was and how aggressive he was. Like, I don't think he's been, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I don't think he's known for being, aggressive in terms of his long shots, right? I always thought he was more of like of a balanced midfielder, and I honestly thought when I checked the lineup, like before I checked the lineup, I thought he was playing as like a center attacking mid or something because he was always in the right spots, and especially to take those shots. And when I found out that he was playing RCM, I was like, what? Like that's crazy.
No, yeah, and
Um,
last year, you know how you said if he was, with Manchester City, he was a clutch player for Man City because he would score last minute goals towards
yeah,
the end of the season that saved them. So
yeah,
Barca is lucky to get a outstanding player who can finish and assist and, plays aggressively now
yeah.
more than ever.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, the second leg. Do you guys know if it's going to be a home or away or
Home game.
home game? Yeah, I think they're going to take it. I mean, going off what Leiko was saying.
Game for Barcelona, just to clarify.
Yeah, okay, home game for Barcelona. Leiko, and you said that the last Napoli's been pretty inconsistent in regards to
Yes,
being.
but Napoli has won one game out of the last 6 games. Their last win was January 22nd. It's been over a month.
Yeah. So see that like for me, I'd be like, okay, Barcelona's got to definitely pick it up in the second leg. I don't know what the game plan is. I don't know what their strategy is, but definitely think they're going to take it that second leg. Hopefully, it's going to be by much more goals. I definitely think that goal that Napoli scored was it was a good goal, but it was again it was like the only shot that they had on target, and for
I,
that I don't know.
I don't know if you guys saw the game, but just to clarify with that goal that Victor Osimhen scored, was that a foul, yes or no?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I personally don't think it was a foul. I
Yeah, I
think
don't think it was a foul.
he was, using his body, turned
Yeah,
in and scored a great goal. So
yeah. I
people
think
say it was a foul, but I don't think it was a foul.
I don't
Just
think it
needs
was a
the
foul.
defender, Indigo Martinez has to be stronger, in my opinion, in
Yeah,
that situation.
yeah. I think right there, if Araujo would have been on that, you think it would have been the same outcome?
No, I
Yeah,
think
right.
I think Araujo would have definitely stolen the ball, or even possibly even double teamed him.
Yeah. I mean, he's what 6'4". Osimhen is like 6'1". So yeah, definitely would have been a different outcome if that was the case. But
Alrighty, moving on to the next game on Tuesday. It was Inter Milan versus Atletico de Madrid. The result was 1-0. This game was really tactical. This game, I thought when I was watching it, it was more Atletico on the defensive side. Um, but that's how Cholo plays.
that's
Cholo
always yeah.
4-4-2. Believe this game that he played, I believe he played five in the back. Not too sure. But yeah, this game was defensive. And the rare things about Diego Simeone that makes him a special coach is that off the ball, they're just so good defensively. Um, Atletico is really good off the ball, and their counterattacks, they will punish you. If you get a counterattack, they will punish you. They're not as strong as Madrid though, because I think Real Madrid is the best counterattack team in the world when it comes to counterattacks. But if you lose the ball in the middle to Atletico Madrid, they will find a way to punish you.
They were actually both teams were playing 3-5-2, so both of them
Both
were
teams,
playing five
okay.
in the back. Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, they were
yeah.
again, both teams were being cautious. I thought the one of the players that stand out in this game was Barella from Inter. Such an outstanding player.
Yeah.
Um, just sees the gaps and, slips through those gaps in tight spaces, and I think he was a key player in that match.
I'm not sure if you guys got the stats down, but I'm pretty like I'm focused on that just coming from like a FIFA background in terms of the game and always checking out the match facts afterwards. But Inter had 19 shots compared to Atletico Madrid that had 7. It's still a big amount of shots. As far as the shots that were on target, Inter had 5 compared to Atletico Madrid who had 0. Possession, Inter had that 57% possession, and 43% of the possession was Atletico Madrid. Um, and obviously Inter came out with the W. They are I think they're what makes them so annoying is they're so defensive. Like it's so
Yeah,
fucking annoying, dude. Like I was looking at the match.
again.
Yeah, and but if you notice though, I think it started like in the second half where Atletico, like in the 76th minute, it looked like they were actually just kind of more defensive at that point of the game.
Oh yeah,
And Inter Milan was still finding ways to get shots off. And they actually were able to get some shots in, even though they were doing that, park the bus shit. Like they had the whole team back, and Inter Milan was still going at it. There was a couple crosses that Inter Milan would throw, and Arnautovic was there, and he would header it in, or he would, it'd be saved, of course, but I mean they were getting shots in, and well, in the 78th minute, luckily Arnautovic was able to get a rebound goal off of Lautaro Martinez's rebound. Well, let's say it bounced off Oblak and then Arnautovic basically tapped it in. But before that, it was actually an Atletico Madrid mistake that led to that
yeah,
goal,
exactly.
right? If you guys saw.
Yeah,
So I think it was sloppy defending from Atletico Madrid. I think this game definitely showed that, and I feel like I don't know if it was because the pressure. I don't know if it was just. I mean, Inter Milan does a great job in terms of the midfield. I mean, like you said, they have a good player, Barella. Is it Barella or Barella? Yeah,
Barella.
Barella. Yeah. So I mean, he got. I mean, I think they even knocked him down at one point in the game. So like, I thought he was injured. But yeah, dude. I mean, he does good, and just I mean, it was satisfying seeing Atletico Madrid get fucking scored on, dude, because they're so like ratty, bro. I hate that shit. It's annoying watching it. Like I respect the tactics that the coach uses, but it's super annoying, dude. And I'm just salty from the last time that they beat Madrid, But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, hey, look, I think Inter Milan is a very good team. They showed it last year and in Champions League especially, and they took L against Man City in the final. But I think that team is set up for success. They're first in Serie A, and playing against Atletico Madrid, I know they play much more defensively, but they just got dominated. I mean, you can play defensive all you want if you're allowing 19 shots on your own goal. You get 19 shots, excuse me, and then 5 on your own goal, I believe Josh had mentioned. Um, you're going to get scored on eventually. So it's a good tactic, but if you're allowing so many shots, at some point it's going to fail. Just one more thing on Inter Milan. They haven't lost in over 2 months. Again, this team is for real. I can see them going very far in the Champions League. At least a semifinal, I would say. If not making the final again. I like the team overall. I think it's really well composed. Their last loss was December 20th. They haven't lost in the new year, 2024, that is. They've won 10 matches and they've had one draw. The last loss came against Bologna 2-1 in the Coppa Italia, round of 16. As far as Atletico Madrid, fourth in La Liga, last 6 matches, they've only won one game. They've lost 3 and tied 2. And that last victory came against Las Palmas, who's currently ninth in La Liga. So not really anything to be proud of. I think the team is, they have some playmakers, and Simeone is a really good coach, I think, but I don't think they're on Inter Milan's level, and Inter will probably put them out of their misery when they play in Atletico in the next game.
Yeah, I definitely counted, I definitely counted Inter Milan out because that final that they gave us last time, I was like, oh man, they're gonna fucking lose. Like I didn't have any faith in them. But seeing them against Atletico Madrid, I mean, like you said, they're fucking serious. Like they're, they mean business. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they set up for the next game. I really do believe that they're gonna win. And it'd be, again, the most satisfying thing. But yeah, it's definitely, Inter Milan is definitely a team that you don't want to count out.
Yeah.
Just
I feel like a lot of people, like you think like Man City, you think Barca, you think Real Madrid, but again, like Inter Milan has been playing very, very well structured
Yeah,
soccer. And if you doubt them, if you think they're not that good for a second, they'll make you pay. They're gonna make you pay.
yeah,
And again, I wouldn't even call them a dark horse. That team is, I think they're a contender to win Champions League this year.
Before we move on to the next match, I disagree with both of you. Um, Obviously, Cholo Simeone was looking for that 0-0. He was disappointed. It was a mistake in the back, an error.
right, yeah,
Throughout that game, or second half actually, mainly second half, when Atletico was trying to get out, they would make errors. Witzel would make an error. Savage, when he came in, he would make an error. So I think personally, Atletico is a dark horse in the Champions League. So I think when they go to Madrid, I think they're gonna sneak a 2-1 win. I
Who,
personally think so.
who do you think? You think Madrid's gonna beat them 2-1?
Yes, yes. Yep. I
Oh,
think,
uh,
yeah, I think Cholo's gonna be more attacking that game.
uh
Or actually, I feel like, let me rephrase this. I feel like at one point or beginning of the game, Cholo's gonna attack. And then once he scores that, he's gonna want to go for like extra time or PKs, and then they'll win in PKs.
I don't think the team is set up to be successful in attacking though.
yeah. I don't either, dude.
Well,
It's gonna be kind of hard doing like winning it,
no, no,
like
yeah, yeah,
scoring
yeah.
2 goals when they're defending the
But
entire fucking game.
no, no, yeah, yeah. That's why, like, let me rephrase it. That's why I said they'll probably get a goal in a corner kick or a free kick or a counter attack. They'll defend most of the game, and then they'll try to win it out in PKs. That's the way I see it. But let me say this: if Inter does score one goal, it's over. I will say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I can't say that I don't see it, but I just think that Inter Milan is way more of a balanced team um, when it comes to attacking and defending and being
Oh yeah,
consistent with
100%
their
agree.
game plan. Compared to
100% agree.
Atletico Madrid,
Yeah.
because Atletico Madrid is so fucking used to, and like again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they're so used to playing in such a fucking defensive way. Like I just, I mean,
But it
it's gonna,
works. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It works.
yeah, it's annoying that it fucking works.
It
It's
works.
annoying that it works.
That's why off the ball they're just so good, and it's so rare for teams to be
But it,
good off the
but
ball
is,
defensively. It's rare.
but is that enough to win? To even make it to the semis? Is that enough to
No,
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 obviously
you're
not,
right
right?
there.
Like it's like they're so that's why I think all around Inter Milan is they're gonna be contenders. Dude. I feel like you can definitely say that they'll at least make it to the semifinals because they're just so fucking well balanced. Like they're yeah, I don't know. I
And
definitely would consider them as, in my opinion, as a sleeper,
yeah,
just because of all the
as
other
Leko
teams.
said, as Leko said before, sorry to cut you off, but
No, go
as
ahead.
Leko said, this is the Champions League. Anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure.
It,
So,
and going off that point, Danny, anything can happen. Porto and Arsenal. Josh, did you have something else to say on the topic?
Sorry, can you say
I
that
didn't,
again?
did I cut you off? Are you gonna say something else, Josh?
No, no, no.
Okay, okay. Talking about anything can happen in the Champions League. What do you guys think about Porto and Arsenal? 1-0 Porto win at home.
So, I mean, I watched the game. Uh, I don't have a lot of fucking faith when it comes to Arsenal, dude. I don't know. I think what position are they sitting in the Prem right now? If anyone knows,
third,
like third. Yeah. So I mean, they're doing pretty good. But I mean, you guys saw the goal, right? It was, I mean, Porto's last minute. It was 93rd minute, fucking outside the box, fucking just banger, dude. I mean, by that left winger, Galeno. Uh, like I don't know, most of most of the game, I didn't really see Arsenal do anything crazy. I think apart from some headers, and they kind of were off target. I don't know. I'm interested to see what you guys say, but as far as you know, Arsenal and the Champions League, I still think they have a long way to go.
So my take on that game is Arsenal overall. I haven't seen like their stats in the Premier League, but I'm pretty sure they've been beating teams 4-0, 5-0. I may be wrong. I think their last game they beat
Newcastle
Newcastle. I
4-1.
think yesterday, or I think it was today or yesterday they beat. Newcastle 4-1, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Um, this is Champions League. Like, this is what they've been dreaming for a long time, and
Yeah.
they have Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, um, Gabriel Jesus, who I believe is injured. They have overall good talented players, and they were just quiet that day.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
for a 40-year-old, who by the way he made history as well, Pepe as the oldest Champions League player. The fact that Pepe was standing his guard and defending these fast players is really amazing. And yeah, I thought Arsenal was sloppy. Um, I thought Declan Rice was quiet. Bukayo Saka was quiet, and yeah, that was just a great goal by that Porto player. And I don't understand why the keeper was off his line. That's that I question that because he was that goal. If you see it, he was off his line.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a great goal. I'm not
It
gonna
was
take it
a it
away.
was a banger, dude. I mean, that shit
It was
was
a
fucking
banger. I'm not gonna
crazy.
take.
It was. It
90
was.
I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. But
last minute, dude. 93rd minute. Like that's I thought it was game over. I thought out of all out of the four games that happened last week, this game was probably the least entertaining one. Um, I think what saved it from. I mean, no, I wouldn't even say saved it. I just didn't think this game was as entertaining as the other ones that we're going to be talking about. And aside from that goal, it was pretty fucking boring in my opinion.
Yeah.
I I don't know.
Arsenal didn't even have a shot on goal the whole game, which again goes to say it's like they play well in the Premier League. They're beating teams left and right,
Yeah, they're
but
five and zero last five games.
when it comes to Champions League, it's like they don't show up. I mean, it's only 1-0. Kudos to them, but I think they should have beat Porto. They should have beat them handedly. Like they had Arsenal had 65% possession to Porto's 35. Yet they did not register a single shot. And again, I think the team needs to turn it around, but I do believe they'll be able to do it when they play in Arsenal.
yeah, when they play, I agree with like when they play at Arsenal, I think it will be a different game,
Yeah,
and I think they will win. They will win for
and
sure.
on that goal, just one last thing on that goal that they get scored on 93rd, 94th minute, whatever. Um, there was a few defensive mistakes on that goal. Just like sloppy playing, they try to clear it, they lose it. They get the ball back, they try to clear it again, they lose it again. They lose that ball on that play 2 or 3 times, and then the guy takes on what was the forward's name from Porto?
Galeno? Was it
Got
Galeno?
amazing shot, really.
Yeah,
I guess unblockable from where the goalie was standing. So
yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one, the last one. Borussia Dortmund versus PSV. Uh, Overall, first I want to get you guys' input. Was that a PK? Yes or no? I think that was one of like a main controversy
Uh,
because
I think it was.
really,
Yeah, I think
okay.
it was. I think it was, and yeah. Yeah. When I was watching the game, I thought it was. I thought it was.
I'm gonna say no.
I thought it was too. I thought it was too.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I'm gonna say no because he hits the ball first and then he gets a slight contact. So that's when I was questioning the ref. I wonder if they went to VAR or not? I don't think they went to VAR. I'm not too sure. I wasn't really paying
No,
attention
I
to
think
that
it was
game.
pretty like it was an immediate decision, if I'm not wrong.
Media decision. Yeah, see, and that's the thing that FIFA, UEFA needs to improve on. They need to go to VAR regardless. They need to go to VAR and see it because in certain angles, you see he gets the ball cleanly,
See,
and that causes Borussia Dortmund.
unfortunately, we're in 2024, and any sort of touch in the 18-yard box is 9 out of 10 times going to be called a PK. And I see what you're saying. He definitely does get the ball first, and the forward does a great job of selling it. But again, we live in a day and age now in soccer. You really can't touch the guy, and if he falls, he flops. Doesn't matter. They're gonna call it. 9 out of 10 times they're gonna call it.
So do you think Borussia Dortmund, because they're playing home, Borussia Dortmund, the next game, do you think Borussia Dortmund beats PSV or PSV wins out? It's 1-1.
I think it's gonna be a close game, just as this one was, and I could see Dortmund turning around just because they have the home field advantage in Germany.
And yeah, I agree. I am going with Borussia Dortmund, even though I won't count out PSV because they do have great players. They have Serginho Dest, who's getting back into form. They have Chucky Lozano, who's one of the best Mexican players. A lot of people will agree to disagree, but and then they have De Jong, who's scoring goals at his age, which is pretty impressive. But Borussia Dortmund will win.
You know, I'll be honest. I was just watching that PK, and you're saying that there was ball contact on that slide that Hummels did, but I didn't see the ball even move. It kind of stayed consistent in a straight line with how the player had it, and I feel like if that contact did come there, like if it was there, the ball would have skirted some other direction instead of just continuing a straight line. Because then you can see that Hummels, like if you put aside, maybe he did like let's put it into a theoretical way, right? That okay, let's say Hummels did touch the ball. It's still like he fucking slid the shit out of this guy, dude. Like you can see it in the video, in any of the highlights that you see. So I just for me it's a PK just because of the reason that you don't see the ball go out of the way. Like it stays consistent. It looks like he flicked it up, and then Hummels came in with the slide tackle, and he just couldn't get that final shot. That possibly would have been a goal.
Yeah, I mean,
I
at the end of
that's
the day, yeah, at
I
the end of
mean
the day, everyone sees
it,
it differently.
yeah, it happened. The way I saw it was, uh, uh, what is it? I don't want to butcher his name, Malin, who scored that near post goal, which was in the 24th minute. He is an ex PSV player. So one thing I did want to ask you guys was, how long do you think until he gets bought out by a Premier League club or he gets transferred out? Because Dortmund is always getting they're like the transfer market. They're always getting like, their players bought out and things like that. And that, there's Malin, he looks very fucking interesting as a forward. He's very aggressive. He goes for the shot instantly. I don't know if you guys saw that in the game, but there was a couple of times where he could have had the pass and instead he just wanted to fucking just shoot the ball. Are you? I don't know if I can see that, Danny. I don't know if you're watching the PK review, but yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Like just in
I
regards to Daniel Malin.
um I give him like a year and a half, and I won't be surprised if Chelsea tries to go for him
Yeah, Chelsea needs some fucking
because
help.
Chelsea needs. They honestly, they don't need help. They have the players. They really do. But it's just tactical wise, what's the right formation? But that's another topic, another day. Um, but I think I see him Chelsea or even in like a small team in Aston Villa. And don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Aston Villa. They're not a small team, but like, Aston Villa is growing and whatnot. But yeah, I see him in those like I do see him in one of those clubs.
I thought it was a great finish by the way that goal. I was almost like, damn, like, how did he get that ball in there? Um,
Yeah, yeah, the near post
yeah,
shot. I know.
such a-
I was like, it's because he shot it from like such a crazy angle, and like
yeah,
it was so
I
weird.
yeah,
Like you don't expect
I didn't
that.
expect. Yeah, I didn't expect it to
Like
go
I
in.
think as a goalie, you're not supposed to let that happen, right? Like obviously it's a powerful shot, right? But you're not supposed to get beat at your near post, and that was like
Yeah,
fucking unexpected. But that's what I'm saying though. It's those weird ass shots that he gets, and like they work. Like I don't know.
I
So
also I will say that it was lazy defending by PSV and that
yeah,
goal. I thought it was lazy defending.
yeah.
That you need a, you know. slide tackle for the ball or try to, pressure quickly as possible. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah,
And
there was definitely a couple of times, even aside from that goal, where they did allow Dortmund to get a couple more shots off. And even though uh, they weren't shots that entered the net, they were still shots that the keeper had to dive and save, and definitely they gave them. They were pretty lazy with the defending. I definitely saw that.
yeah. All right, now we're gonna move on to a big, big, big story news that's going on in the soccer slash football world. I believe that's the correct term to say, football, not soccer. But Mbappe going to join Real Madrid. Obviously, it's not confirmed yet, but speculation that I believe that is his choice. My opinion on it is how is he gonna coexist with Vinicius, Rodrigo? You got Hendricks coming in. Um, I don't know if Jose Lu is gonna stay or not. You know, you have so many attacking players, and keep in mind, as much as I hate to say this, Real Madrid is, if he signs with Real Madrid, it's gonna be Galacticos 2.0.
Galacticos third, the third
Yeah,
Galacticos era,
third
third
Galacticos
Galacticos
there,
era, bro.
and yeah, Barca is pretty much fucked because they have one of the best young midfield team
Yeah,
in the
I
world,
I
in my
just
opinion.
just to point out one thing. We are on. We can see each other on video. Just want to point that out. So we're gonna, we see each other's reactions, which makes it even better. Whenever it makes it better for me whenever I see Danny talking about this and how we're basically gonna own him and Barca for the next 10 years. Uh, but yeah, dude, fucking, it's literally on pace, to be like the beginning of the third Galacticos era. If we lock in, I think. I mean, what you said with in regards to Jose Lu, dude. I'm pretty sure he knew what he was getting into the minute he signed. He was probably like, oh, I'm gonna play this season, and then, probably in the next, I'm not gonna be here because that replacement's gonna come in. Uh, but I don't know. It's just we have some. It's funny because we went from having kind of like no attacking players, a season ago, to having, you know, I think too much attacking players now, and it's like, where do you fit everybody? Where do you put everyone? And how is he going to make it work? I think nothing but positive is going to come from the fact that we're going to get Mbappe. I'm sure we're going to get him. So that's why I'm speaking, as if we already have him. But I think it's going to be no problem fitting him into the squad. He's just such a big player. He's a game changer for sure. It's going to benefit the club. It's going to benefit his career. He needed to get out of PSG, I think, in my opinion, in order for him to move on to the next step. And I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure Madrid fans out there are excited as well. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see a lot of highlights. El Clásicos are going to be, they're going to get fucking way better. Um, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it.
Probably way more boring. Just get lopsided. Real Madrid destroying Barca, dude.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun though, dude. You're not gonna even fucking. Yeah, it's gonna be so fun.
As a bias standpoint, I really hope he's a Hazard 2.0 where he gets hurt and just,
Bruh.
you know, but
But he's not injury prone.
not,
That's the thing.
yeah, but as non-biased, yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Josh. No, it's gonna be good for the club. It's gonna be good for him because all he needs is a Champions League. And Real Madrid never bet against Real Madrid in the Champions League. I've learned that lesson several times. Um, but it goes back to my point. Are they going to coexist? Because you got Vinny, you got Rodrigo, Mbappe saying that's the starting lineup defensively. Those three players don't defend as much. They really don't. So I'm interested to see how he's gonna play a role. I don't think he's gonna be the main guy. I know some of you guys will think I'm crazy, but I think Jude Bellingham is the main star of Real Madrid. I really think so. And Mbappe will be behind. As of now, I believe if he does join Real Madrid, he wants almost full image rights, and he is going to get paid less. I believe his salary is 430,000, so a little over 2 million. But hey, it's worth it. All you need is a Champions League to be one of the greatest players of all time because he already has a World Cup at 18. So I'm interested to see how is he gonna be a role in that team.
Um, yeah, I so the way I see it, like I was saying, we have a lot of options when it comes to our offense. We just got Brahim Diaz back. I mean, he's balling out too. You can tell why we wanted him back. Um, so today's game, we played 4-3-3, and then we had Rodrigo as striker, Vinny left wing, and Brahim Diaz as a right wing. So Bellingham didn't play, but I mean it was against Sevilla. Uh, the way I see it is it's gonna be Mbappe striker, Vinny left wing, right wing is where it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be that choice of either. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Rodrigo. It's gonna be Rodrigo, then Brahim Diaz, and
Just to add on there, right? I Going back to Mbappe at PSG, I don't really think there's anything much more that he can really do there. I mean, he set the goal scoring record. He's won several League One titles. He's born in France. Obviously, PSG is a top club in France. The only thing he doesn't have is a Champions League. I fully expect him to win the Champions League trophy at some point in Real Madrid. And again, I'm speaking like this already happened because it essentially is going to. I can't see any Liverpool or Man U creeping up and making a last minute offer to the point where he would take that. And the only thing I can say about him joining Real Madrid is I would be just a little bit more hesitant to say that nothing's going to change because I think the team, as they're performing now, if you ask me, I don't even believe they need Mbappe. I think they're playing well without him. And whenever you include a new player in a new system, there has to be some sort of adapting to it. I don't think it's as easy unless you're Holland, right? In Man City, that's one example, I guess. But normally it doesn't work that way. You can't just bring a player and put him in a system and expect for it to work like from night to day. I think it's going to take them a good maybe 10 to 15 games to kind of adjust to it, right? And that's going to be fairly quick, I think. But initially, I don't see it being like him just plugging him in there and Real Madrid smoking everyone and smashing these teams. And going back to talking about some of the other pieces they have around him, Vinny, Ibrahim Diaz, Joselu, and potentially getting Endricks or getting what's the Canadian's name? The Alfonso.
Davies.
Alfonso Davies.
Yes, I think for Real Madrid now the focus is Mbappe. It's just getting him right. Um, he is the central point. He has to be the focus. That's the free agent you want. And I think for some of the other guys, it's going to be like, okay, well, we're getting Mbappe, right? Like, how does that change our role? And should we even want to be here anymore? I again, I think the team is really well structured right now. They're doing really good things. Adding Mbappe there should make them better. I think it will make them better in the long run. But I do see them having to lose some of these other guys who probably will want to take a limited role. Like, I mean, potentially you're even going to tell Vinny, take your number off and give it to Mbappe, right? Um,
That's another
so
thing. Are
it's
they
like,
gonna
how are these guys going to react to it, right? Or
exactly? Yeah.
how is someone like Ibrahim Diaz, who is starting to get a larger role in the team, going to react to potentially not even playing as much anymore? So these are questions that Real Madrid will have to answer. I don't think it's going to be as crystal right now, crystal and clear, and it's going to be interesting. But I do see Mbappe winning several Champions Leagues in Real Madrid. I mean, he's going to be successful. I don't think it's going to be immediately. And I will say that I do think he'll be the star of the team. I do think at some point he'll be better than Jude Bellingham. Most times, we look back at it and we say, who was the goal scorer, right? Not who was giving the assist. I think Jude's doing a lot of the goal scoring right now, but once Mbappe comes in, it's just like, dude, feed him the ball. feed him the ball. This guy is insanely talented and insanely quick.
Regards to the number real quick before we move on, I believe Modric is leaving at the end of the season, so I think they'll
Yeah.
give him the number 10.
Yeah. You know what? The one thing I will say, and I think I'm pretty confident when I say this, is that Madrid does a good job in regards to bringing in some big names and implementing them into their team, to the point where it doesn't become a problem. I mean, like I said earlier, it's fucking Madrid Galacticos. Perez is used to doing this shit. He did it back in, what was it, like the early 2000s, and he did it again in 2009, and then 2010, 2018, where it was Kaká and then Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema. Obviously, the big name there, because of the price tag that Cristiano Ronaldo had, which was 90 million that they bought him for. He was basically like that generation's. I mean, obviously CR7 is his own player. I'm not going to disrespect him or anything, but I think in terms of relating that to now, it would be a player like Mbappe because of how expensive he is and how known he is. I think Madrid is going to find a way to make it work. I don't think there's going to be too much like bad blood in terms of Vinicius, Bellingham, Rodrigo, even. I can't say the same for players like Brahim Diaz or Jose Lu. I mean, Jose Lu for sure. I don't think he's gonna stay. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna maybe stay. He's gonna want to stay as a bench player, but I like you said, Lego. I do agree that you're not gonna just be able to throw him in, right, and he's gonna perform. It's gonna take some time to getting used to. They're probably gonna have to change the way their attacks go. They're gonna have to change something to make everything flow, and to get everything clicking. But I don't think it's gonna be like a like a like a big deal like it was, compared to like PSG, right, where they had fucking Neymar, they had Messi, and they had Mbappe, and they just didn't win shit. It was just like this big thing, and they ended up just everyone leaving, right? Everyone just kind of left.
Yeah,
Madrid has
and
done this.
just to clarify that point, Josh, I'm not saying Real Madrid is going to do that. Like PSG with um, Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, that was a failed experiment. Like
Yeah,
that was bad.
yeah,
All I'm saying is I think it's going to take a little bit of an adjustment for them, but eventually, 100%, they're going to keep winning the league. I think. I mean, and I do see them winning at least a couple of Champions Leagues with him.
yeah,
Like, I do see them finding success.
yeah. If in my opinion, I would, it's fine if we, maybe we're struggling in the beginning, just trying to find our rhythm. As long as we're in it for the long run, right? We're gonna be
Yeah.
hopefully winning these Champions League, winning the league. We're my expectations are pretty high, and I think a lot of people's expectations are high as well, just because of what we've seen, what Mbappe can do, um, and I just don't see it being a huge problem in my opinion. Definitely we'll struggle in the beginning, but aside from that, I think it'll be kind of fucking, um,
Quickly before we
yeah,
move on, so obviously Mbappe striker, Vinny on the left, right?
yeah,
Do you put Brahim or Rodrigo?
Rodrigo.
Personally, I think Brahim. Brahim.
I put Rodrigo.
That's just me.
Yeah,
Because Brahim's been playing well.
yeah, he has,
I just,
he has.
I think Brahim deserves that.
Yeah, he has. I feel like I'm a little bit more biased with Rodrigo because I've seen him play a little bit more, and I've seen him kind of uh, develop as a player. So that's why I have that. I feel like I have that biased opinion. Brahim Diaz is a great player, though. Nonetheless, I'm pretty sure they're gonna, they'll make it work. They'll both get playing time, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be the one who performs the best. So,
Right.
yeah,
Alrighty. So moving on to our next topic and our last topic, going into basketball, NBA. Um, we're close to playoff time. That should be exciting. I believe there's like 25 games remaining or so.
22.
22? 22. So obviously the main one, the Lakers. Are they going to make the playoffs? And is, LeBron Go, not go. Is he gonna stay in LA? Is he gonna resign with the Lakers? Um, Personally, I think the Lakers are gonna make the play-in. They're not gonna make like the top six playoffs. I think they'll be in the play-in. Will they go far? I don't think so. I think there's too many good teams in the West. You have the Suns, the Clippers, sadly. You have the remaining defending champs and the Nuggets, and then you have sleeper in OKC who's playing really well. Like they're just playing as a team in terms of basketball, and then SGA, I believe. I don't know his name, but he's playing phenomenal in that organization. In terms of, you know, I believe this is LeBron's last shot of winning the chip. I think so. And I don't think he'll stay in LA. I think he'll go somewhere else. He wants to play with his son. I think he'll go play with his son for fun. And it just won't be, he won't have that championship mentality anymore. He'll just be playing for money. So I think this is the last year with the Lakers. And how I said, his last chance of winning the chip.
So Lakers are sitting 10th. If yeah, I wrote it down here that currently right now as of um, February 25th they're sitting 10th place. Uh, their next game is the 28th on Wednesday versus the Clippers. Um, yeah, I don't. I mean, I think the same. Similar to what you said, Danny. They'll make the play-in. If I'm not, if that's what you said, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, playing.
Yeah,
They'll make the
yeah,
play-in for sure.
yeah. I think that's as far as that goes, I think they will make the play-in. After that, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what to say in regards to that. Um, I'm assuming Carlos, you probably got something to say when it comes to that. Um,
I think they do get knocked out, um, possibly in the playoffs, first round. It's just LeBron, the thing about the Lakers when it comes to a close game, I don't know if you noticed this, Lako and Carlos. LeBron wants to take the last shot. He always does. He wants to be the hero, and that's not it. Like we understand, you broke the record. Uh, you're a great basketball player. You're amongst top four to ever do it. But it's just like there's Austin Reeves, who's a shooter. There's even Anthony Davis, who's actually playing well now.
D'Angelo Russell too. Don't sleep on him.
And then you got D'Lo, and it's just you gotta give these other players opportunities to take that last shot. It just can't be you. So
so, do you guys think that if they do get if they do get knocked out, is that going to be a big factor in terms of LeBron, making his decision on staying or leaving?
yes, I
Yes,
think so.
yes,
Yes.
100%, hundred
Yeah.
percent. Because like even if they're in the play-in, you know who they're going against? They might go against. They might go against the Warriors, the Suns, Utah. We can beat Utah. Like the Lakers can beat Utah, but I don't know. But the way that Steph Curry's been playing right now, I don't know. That he's a whole level, and Draymond's getting back together. Same thing. Slowly, Klay Thompson, but I'm not guarantee it. But we'll see what happens. Honestly, but if they lose in the play-in, I don't think there's no hesitation that LeBron James is gonna go somewhere else.
What do you think, Lego, with the whole LeBron situation?
Um, Look, I'll start first with the Lakers, right, making the playoffs. There's currently 31 and 28. They're ninth or 10th place in the Western Conference. They're three and a half games behind fifth place. So that's the positive, is that they're not that far away from fifth place, who's actually the Kings. And then obviously from fifth to ninth or tenth, where the Lakers are right now, I believe they're ninth. There's only 3.5 games. So they have time. I think they have time to catch up, to maybe make a move. But at the same time, like I think the team that they don't want to face the most is going to be the Nuggets. I still think the Nuggets are a team that like they don't want to mess with. And my opinion would be if the Lakers make the play-in, I want to see they make. If the play-in start right now, they're playing against Golden State Warriors. I think they'd beat them, believe it or not. And if they can get a good matchup, by good matchup I mean the Thunder, um, maybe the Timberwolves, um, or maybe something like someone like the Kings, right? Like the Kings or the Pelicans, or even the Mavericks somehow. If they can play one of those teams, I think they have a shot and they can make a run. But if you end up playing against the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Suns, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that they can make it much further than that. And I would say that definitely if they don't even make the playoffs, that's really going to factor into LeBron's decision whether to stay or not. But LeBron's always been like that. I feel like he's always been kind of like this attention seeker, always needs the cameras on him. Um, and I think he's going to wait till the very end. He's made it clear several times that he wants to play with his son. Um, and I don't think he's joking. So if a team is dumb enough to waste a first round pick on Bronny, and I say that with all due respect. I know the kid's gone through some like heart conditions this
Yeah.
season at USC, but numbers don't lie. Just look at statistics. He's not this sort of like top NBA prospect who would command some sort of lottery pick. But again, in this case, if he gets drafted, LeBron has said like he wants to play with his son. He wants to
Do
play with.
you,
So
do you think Darvin Ham will go too?
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
their
Lakers
scapegoat.
coach.
go ahead, Carlos.
That's their scapegoat. Look what happened to Frank Vogel.
Yeah, yeah, and I've always said I've always been a proponent. It's like it's not the 9 out of 10 times it's not the coach. Okay, there are some exceptions to that, but at the end of the day, who's playing? It's the players playing. Anthony Davis plays, LeBron James plays, Austin Reeves plays, DeAndre Russell plays, Rui plays. Right, these are the guys who are playing. Like that. That's who you should look at. Um, and yeah, I mean, if they don't make the play-in tournament, I think LeBron James does not opt into his player option. And I think they'll fire Darvin Ham because, as you guys mentioned, he's a scapegoat. Like you got to blame it on someone. You're not going to blame it on LeBron James. Um,
Yeah.
but the guy's approaching 40 years old. It's like the Lakers are kind of in a tough spot here because they don't have the assets to, or currently they don't have the assets really to make any major move. Maybe in the summer that'll change. I've heard that they're willing to make some sort of move, whether they trade like their 2027, 2028 first round draft picks in order for a superstar. But at the end of the day, it's like you're going to do that probably just to try to please LeBron. When again, the guy's probably not even going to stay there. One thing I do want to emphasize, and it's interesting, is LeBron James has an option. So he signed a 3-year contract. This according to an article by Marcus. So he signed a 2-year contract extension with LA back in September 2022, a player option for that third year. If he opts into that player contract, so that player option, he would get paid $51.4 million for the following season. When is the deadline for him to opt into that contract? If you guys could take a wild guess, when will that deadline be for that player option? It's,
I don't know.
By
it's
the end of the season.
June 29th. It's June 29th. What's around June?
Uh-huh.
The draft.
There you
Oh,
go.
the draft.
NBA draft. So the NBA draft happens to be the 27th of June, right? And funny enough, LeBron James has until June 29th to make up his mind and say, I'm going to opt into the player contract, or you know what? I'm not. I'm just going to become a free agent and I'm going to explore other opportunities, right? So it's just interesting how he has so much power and so much leeway in the situation. And if he walks, it's like the Lakers are screwed. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I think they've kind of set themselves up for failure in a way here. They're ninth place in the Western Conference, and they're not in a good spot. And again, wherever Bronny goes, I see LeBron going there.
Okay. Do you think this is LeBron's last shot to win the chip?
100%.
39 years old. Like I definitely do. I think he did. He does. This is his last chance for sure.
Yeah, and it's also just one last thing. I mean, I think a lot of times people try to compare him to like Tom Brady and be like, oh well, Tom Brady could do it past 40 and he was still successful. But you got to remember, like LeBron James plays a completely different sport,
Oh
and he's constantly jumping and running, and not that Tom Brady doesn't, but it's just a completely different wear and tear on your body,
yeah,
right? And the guy is also what 6'10", 6'9". It's like, bro,
yeah.
he's a
He has
big
a stud.
person. He's a big person. Like after a while, that takes a toll on your body. So he can't keep playing for that much longer. And yes, I would say with LA is probably his best chance to win it, and this season to win again.
Okay.
Hypothetically, if he opts out of his contract, where would he go?
Wherever his son goes.
The
Yeah, I
Hornets.
think,
Oh God, the Hornets. I mean,
Charlotte
it's
Hornets.
possible. It's possible.
dude. Do you guys ever think, now that you say it, do you think a team would be crazy enough, like the Rockets, the Hornets, the Magic, to be like, we have a top pick? Let's just draft Bronny James. Let's just draft Bronny James because we know the likelihood of Bron coming here is super high.
Detroit.
Yeah.
At
Detroit.
this point,
Do you guys think a team would be that crazy to be like, you know what, we're just gonna waste our pick? I mean, use our pick. Let's
so
I
use our.
think there's teams
so
that are desperate out there.
realistically, how many years do you think LeBron has like of playing, like
2 years.
whatever team he goes to?
Two
Because I think
years.
that like in this modern like in this modern era, I think it was 43 years old, the last guy that retired. The oldest one, this is just according to like the general wiki, the oldest player in the NBA was a guy called Nat Hickey, and he was 46. But that was like back in 1947. So obviously it's like a different game now, right? Like, I think it's
Yeah, it's faster.
yeah. So I would I would say 42, 43 is probably a good age to say where he would probably stop, right? Just so he gets to, if he wants to play with his son, he gets to get that opportunity. But
We'll see. We'll see. I do see how Lego says. I do see um, a desperate team in the like Pistons, the Hornets, San Antonio even uh, getting Bronny James, and then LeBron's gonna be there.
But do you think they're doing a basketball move or a business move?
Business move,
business,
100% business move,
yeah, you're gonna
100%
sell
business
tickets for
move.
sure. Father and son, like, yeah,
Like basketball,
All right.
basketball move for me is that's kind of dumb. Like anybody who doesn't know any
Well,
basketball knowledge, that's wrong.
it brings to the point this past NFL season with the whole Taylor Swift. Yeah, that's another topic for another day. But at the end of the day, Carlos, it's business. She came into the league, made so much money for the NFL, and look, you know,
yeah, and
so
just to kind of follow that 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 consistent that consistency in terms of the business thing too. And again, this is this isn't going to relate to this sport in general, but like how we were talking about the Mbappe thing. Mbappe has a brother as well, so obviously he's been linked already to Madrid. Bellingham has a brother as well, he's been linked to Madrid. So it's like it's going to be, at the end of the day, having a son, sibling, it's gonna have that advantage when it comes to that business aspect. In my opinion, I think you're gonna sell more tickets. You're gonna get that, that green link, and I think this would be, a business decision. Um, Wherever LeBron lands, I mean, theoretically speaking, that his son gets drafted and all that stuff, right?
okay. So, any last words before we move on? Again, I think he leaves LA and he moves on and he goes explores other teams, but he does. This is his last chance of winning the chip.
Hmm.
Yeah. If they lose, as we mentioned, if they don't even make the playoffs, I think you kind of just seal it. He's
Yeah, oh, 100%. If they don't make it to the play-in, he's done.
um, I still see Bronny being like one of the most overvalued draft picks ever because I'm willing to bet somebody will draft him.
Yeah.
And again, it's like there's other guys out there in college, right, who probably deserve to be drafted over him, and someone's not gonna be just because it comes with a little bit of a caveat there. If you draft him, well, there's a pretty big chance LeBron's gonna want to play with your team.
Yeah, I think we're good on that, right?
Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to say on the Lakers making the playoffs or LeBron staying in LA?
I got
I'm
one.
good.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
If they go in the playoffs, Lakers in five.
Carlos, could you say that again?
If we go to the playoffs, Lakers in five.
If the Lakers go to the playoff, the Lakers in five.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's what he said. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't play no Nuggets again, man, because we saw how that worked out with them last year.
That was bad. Really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, we don't want that to happen again. All right, guys. So, as part of the Pocho Sports podcast, we'll be including a segment at the end of every episode in which we will all individually analyze and predict an outcome of a game, specifically in regards to who will win. So the segment will be referred to as Pocho's Picks. For this week, we'll be focusing on the NBA. Josh, please take it away and share with us your Pocho's Pick of the week.
Yeah, so for my pick, I have the 76ers versus the Celtics. I believe the Celtics are going to win for obvious reasons. One of them being that they're 45 and 12, 45 wins, 12 losses, compared to the 76ers, who have 33 wins and 24 losses. Last game, Celtics won their game by 14 points. It was 116 compared to the 102. And 76ers lost their last game. It was 119 and a 98 points. As far as injuries go, and this is a big one for the 76ers, is Joel Embiid, their center, who is out. That's the current status. Compared to the Celtics, who their only injured player is Jaden Springer, who is a point guard, and he contributes 4 points per game. So we'll be fine without him. But yeah, I'm gonna say that Celtics are taking it. And yeah, that's my pick.
For my pick is I'm taking the Clippers over the Lakers. I'm sorry. I know I just said Lakers in five, but realistically, who is the better team? The Clippers are. They're good on rebounds. They're a better defensive team. They're a better shooting team than we are. Like Russell Westbrook coming off of the bench, that was the most biggest thing like ever with what Clippers did, and it turned out to be good. And in my opinion, I think Russell Westbrook should be top three in a Six Man of the Year award because they've been winning a lot of games because of that. James Harden's playing good. Kawhi Leonard's good. Same thing with Paul George. Matter of fact, the whole team is doing good. What they need to do is perfectly like what a coach's dream they have, man. I think, yeah, the Clippers are gonna take this game. My opinion, Clippers are gonna take it.
Bro, you sound like a Clippers fan, right, man? Don't never do that
I
again.
know, I know, I know, I know, but like realistically, like Nico, Danny, you're Laker fans. Realistically, who's gonna win that?
Hey, I'm a Lakers fan till I die. Fuck the Clippers. I'm going with the Lakers on mine.
I know, but like they're better. Like, what are they? Third in the West?
You're right. All right, for my Pocho's pick, the game that I have this week is the Golden State Warriors versus the New York Knicks. Um, I'm going with the Warriors because, they've been dealing with a lot of problems within the team and they've won their last three past games. And obviously they've beaten the Lakers, beaten the Jazz. They lost to the Clippers by 5 points, and they beat obviously Charlotte Hornets, who are not really a good team. But I think this team is getting back together, getting that chemistry. An important key thing is that Klay Thompson's coming off the bench now. So when he comes off the bench, they're just scoring. It's the Splash Brothers again.
Way more threes.
Obviously, Yep. Obviously, Draymond Green being Draymond. Uh, One of the best defenders currently right now in the NBA. Obviously, there's better defenders, but I think he does an outstanding job defending. So,
He also does a
yeah,
really good job at punching people in the face with the nuts. Just putting that out there.
Oh shit!
correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. And exactly. But yeah, and they are playing a great New York Knicks team. Jalen Brunson averaging 27 points per game, 47% field goal. So as long as I think they can contain Jalen Brunson, I think the Warriors can take it, and they're an underdog. So the Warriors will win. They need to get back in track so they can get in the play-in and then reach the playoffs. I believe that's the goal. So that's my pick for if you want to win money, big time money since they're underdog. Win with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, all right. So for my Pocho's picks, I have the Heat versus the Nuggets. They play on this upcoming Thursday, February 29th. It's going to be a home game for the Denver Nuggets. Essentially, it's going to be a rematch of the 2023 NBA Finals, which, as we know here, the Nuggets won their first NBA title in franchise history, beating the Heat 4-1. Currently, the Heat are eighth in the Eastern Conference, while the Nuggets sit in fourth. In the last 10 games, I mean, they're both fairly equal, right? So the Heat are 7-3, while the Nuggets are 6-4. Um, the Nuggets actually featured the same starting lineup, or they have like in the last few games, and I assume they would have the same starting lineup they had when they won the 2023 NBA Finals, as long as there's no unforeseen injuries. It consists of Jokic, uh, Jamal Murray, KCP, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. The Heat starting lineup, it's changed a little bit. They have Jimmy Butler. They have Jovic, who was their first round pick in the last NBA draft, as well as Bam and Caleb Martin, they acquired in the trade, and Tyler Hero. For this pick, I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Nuggets here. I think that um, they have to get hot at some point. I know they're currently not where they want to be. I mean, they're fourth, coming off fourth in the Western Conference. That is coming off an NBA championship, but the team again, they will. I'm willing to bet they'll make a run here, and I do think they're a better team than the Heat are. The Heat do need this game more, in my opinion. They are eighth in the Eastern Conference, but the Nuggets are the better team. I surely expect them to win.
Alrighty.
Okay. Does anyone else have any final thoughts on the picks?
I think the Lakers are going to win on that one. Sorry, Carlos.
No,
But come on,
it's
like
pretty good.
like the Clippers are a better team
They are, but
overall. But like this season, like they're doing a little bit better than expectations. You know what I mean?
it's James Harden. They always choke in the playoffs.
This is playoffs. This is still the regular season, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying in the future, when they do reach the playoffs, they will choke.
All right, yeah, I think we're good,
Okay.
Lako.
Okay. Well, on behalf of Carlos, Danny, Joshua, and myself, we would like to generally thank you for hanging in there and listening to the end of our first podcast episode on Pocho Sports. Our ambition, as we stated earlier, is to continue to provide you up-to-date and original sports content and discussions on a weekly basis. Any feedback and engagement is encouraged and welcome. Please catch us next week on Monday for our next episode. Pocho's out.